Everything is about to change for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's specifically among the coaching staff. Now, Mike Tomlin is apparently not going anywhere, but Arthur Smith just interviewed for a head coaching position earlier today. If the Steelers really do decide to clean house, it doesn't matter if Arthur Smith gets a head coaching position or not. But as a Steelers fan, I can tell you we don't care if Arthur Smith gets a head coaching job. We just want him off of our coaching staff. And then for Mike Tomlin, obviously a ton of rumors. Both of these coaches have been in the headlines a ton lately. So we got to talk about it here on Steelers Digest. First, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Most of you have not yet subscribed to Steelers Digest. If you haven't, hit that sub button and we will provide the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news, rumors, and content, as well as some updates. And today we have an update on both Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith, the head coach and the offensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers, after their disappointing end to the 2024-25 season. Arthur Smith is still getting head coaching gig opportunities, so we got to talk about that later in the show. But first, we want to talk about Mike Tomlin. Last episode, we talked about Tomlin a little bit, but now the possibility of Mike Tomlin leaving means, could Mike Tomlin be traded? Because Mike Tomlin is not getting fired. I can almost guarantee you that the Steelers have no need to move on from Mike Tomlin. They've had consistent winning seasons under Tomlin. Now, that becomes a problem when the Steelers aren't winning playoff games, and that has been the case for quite some time, which brings into question, is Mike Tomlin really the man for the job? A lot of people have speculated that Mike Tomlin would like to go elsewhere, but when he was asked about whether or not he would want to stay in Pittsburgh or be traded, in the exact words said, Mike Tomlin sent a blunt message to everybody amid these trade rumors: save your time. And what does that mean to Steelers fans? What does that mean to football fans in general? It means Mike Tomlin just doesn't really want to answer the question. Save your time could mean a ton of different things. It doesn't mean I'm not going anywhere. It also doesn't mean I want out. He's being very blunt, as he typically is. Mike Tomlin doesn't normally elaborate all that much on things, especially rumors like this that aren't really, where there isn't actually any real merit to it. It's pretty much just rumors and speculation at this point. So, of course, Mike Tomlin feels like this is something he just doesn't want to talk about at this point in time. He would rather just brush it off and be blunt about it so that this isn't the storyline surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. There is so much else to talk about with the Steelers that Mike Tomlin just wants to silence that noise. But could Mike Tomlin be traded? It's still a question. Could he be? And my answer to you is absolutely yes. He could be traded. It's not necessarily a guarantee that it's going to happen. It's not even likely to happen. But at this point, that's the only way Mike Tomlin leaves Pittsburgh, is if he's traded. Think back to Sean Payton being traded from the New Orleans Saints to the Denver Broncos. This was a different type of situation with Sean Payton, because he had technically left the Saints before he was actually traded to the Broncos for draft picks. With Mike Tomlin, he's still under contract for a few more years. He also has a no-trade clause. I don't know if you guys knew that was even a thing for coaches, but it is. Mike Tomlin is a no-trade clause, so he is under contract for multiple more seasons, I believe through 2027, if I remember correctly, and he cannot be traded unless he says yes to whatever trade there is. So there was an official offer made to the Steelers for Mike Tomlin. It was rejected, of course, by Omar, but Mike Tomlin is still technically available. If anybody was willing to make that trade, Mike Tomlin would literally just have to agree to it, and then it could go through. So this is a real possibility for the Steelers. And we look at another graphic here as well. George Pickens is rumored to be on the trade block as well, as is most of the Pittsburgh Steelers roster, if I'm being honest. And then the rumors have been that they're going to clear house, other than Mike Tomlin. But this tells you, the latest comments, that it's becoming more and more likely for Mike Tomlin to leave the Pittsburgh Steelers. So with all of this in the news right now and all of this happening, the answer is absolutely yes. Mike Tomlin could be traded. And then the next question would be from everybody, where would he be traded? And what possible opportunity could he get with another team? What teams would actually be interested in trading for Mike Tomlin, given the resume that he has with, success in the regular season and not so much success in the playoffs? But there were still teams very desperate for a head coach. They would go out there and trade for Mike Tomlin in a heartbeat. I can say that with confidence. So let's look at a couple trade possibilities. And I'm not trying to, disrespect Mike Tomlin here. I understand he doesn't necessarily want to go anywhere. He'd be more vocal about it if he did. But it's fun to talk about trade rumors, so we got to talk about it, no doubt. So the first trade offer that I saw, or possibility, proposal, projection, whatever you want to call it, is Mike Tomlin to the New York Jets, a team that desperately needs a head coach. What could the Steelers possibly get back in return? Well, this projected trade says a 2026 first-round pick and wide receiver Garrett Wilson. The Ohio State standout, former first-round pick, has had a ton of success, especially if Aaron Rodgers, for whatever reason, signs with the Steelers to be our quarterback next year. And George Pickens, Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers trio on the offensive side, that's kind of scary. But I do believe it's more likely that Rodgers stays in New York if they get Mike Tomlin. So I guess I shouldn't even really say that trio would be real, but Mike Tomlin has a great relationship with Rodgers. Rodgers is going to play one more year. Steelers are a possibility if Tomlin stays in Pittsburgh, but it goes to the Jets. Heck, maybe Rodgers might want to play another year there just to get a year playing for Mike Tomlin, a coach that he admires. And the rumors as far as Rodgers being a Steeler, we're going to cover in a different video. I personally don't buy into that at all. I saw that the last few years just because of the bromance that Tomlin and Rodgers had years ago and the mutual respect they have for each other. It's kind of nonsense if you ask me. And then another trade possibility that we look at, talking about Tomlin being a potential trade option, is the Cowboys. They just fired Mike McCarthy. Pittsburgh guy, no, like McCarthy, maybe, I don't know. Obviously they're looking at Deion Sanders, a bunch of other options for maybe Jerry Jones just starts head coaching at this point. But Micah Parsons isn't happy really in Dallas. He's not going to come out and say for sure that he wants to be traded, but he has, been frustrated the last few seasons with Dallas. Dak Prescott got hurt last year, kind of a lost season for the Cowboys. So a trade would look like this: Micah Parsons, a second rounder and a third rounder for Mike Tomlin. And I'm not saying that either of those trades are really that bad, if I'm being honest. Tomlin's not being fired, but if he gets traded, those are the kind of trades you're looking at. You're looking at an all-star Pro Bowl level player, Garrett Wilson, Micah Parsons, that could really be an impact player for the Steelers. But then again, you're changing the entire culture of the team without Mike Tomlin. Is the defense going to be as good without Mike Tomlin? Would the offense be better without Mike Tomlin? I can tell you right now it'd be better without Arthur Smith. That guy needs to go somewhere. Well, will he return to head coaching? Meaning he's going elsewhere already. I can confidently say the Steelers probably will not hang on to Arthur Smith after last season, especially after the collapse of the offense. Arthur Smith is not going to be a Steeler next year as far as offensive coordinator. I think he's going to be a head coach somewhere else, to be honest. If he doesn't get one of those jobs, the Steelers will probably still move on from Arthur Smith. So the job that he interviewed for today, not that it's a job that a lot of people really want per se, but he interviewed the Chicago Bears head coaching job today, and he'll be interviewing for the New York Jets head coaching position tomorrow. So there are very desperate teams. I just named two, the Bears and the Jets, two of the most desperate franchises in football and in probably all of professional sports, trying to get Arthur Smith as their head coach. Really solid idea. We saw how that worked out before for the Atlanta Falcons. So I'm not 100% sure why anybody would want Arthur Smith as their head coach, and I'm still not sure why anybody would want him as their offense coordinator either, but we had him as our offense coordinator last year. So, hey, we'll see. Arthur Smith maybe returning to head coaching. It definitely won't be with the Steelers. I can confidently say that if Mike Tomlin does go somewhere else, Arthur Smith is not going to be our head coach. I would say Mike McCarthy's probably at the top of that list because he is a Pittsburgh guy. And I like Mike McCarthy, but I'm not saying he's a Mike Tomlin either. He's won a Super Bowl as well, but it's tough, guys. This is the offseason. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors. Tomlin, of course, shutting them down, but Mike McCarthy's available right now. So I'm not 100% sure how this is all going to play out, but I can tell you with confidence, Arthur Smith is getting head coaching opportunities right now. He is. He already interviewed for one. He's getting another opportunity tomorrow. The Bears even posted about it, believe it or not. They're proud of this. They're so proud that they interviewed Arthur Smith. They're posting, we have completed an interview with head coaching candidate Arthur Smith. They're so proud. I don't know why. Haven't figured it out yet, but they're proud. Arthur Smith might be their next head coach. Would it be an upgrade over what they had? Maybe, probably not, but it's kind of funny though, to see the Steelers team. Obviously, we are spoiled with the head coaches that we've had. Mike Tomlin's been the only head coach we've known for quite some time, and even before that, we had some really good head coaches in Pittsburgh. So we're kind of spoiled. But right now, this is the most question marks we've ever seen with this team. So I'm kind of just throwing this out there right now. These head coaching or just coach in general rumors that are being floated. But people agree with me that Steelers fans would not shed a tear if Arthur Smith is poached for a head coaching job. That is 100% accurate. Arthur Smith can go wherever he wants. If he wants to take a head coaching job, I'd encourage him to do that. That team is not going to be very good. I can tell you that right now. But for the Steelers, as long as he's not on our team, as long as he's not coaching for us, I'm cool with it. So will Arthur Smith return to head coaching elsewhere? God, I hope so. Just get him off our team. That's all I'm saying. He was a very bad offensive coordinator for us this year. I didn't even think there was that much positive at the beginning of the season. I think that was all Justin Fields and Russell Wilson when they were both playing well consecutively after the quarterback change. But after Russ cooled down a little bit, you really saw how this offense struggles with play calling. Really, really bad play. Really bad play calling. And just the scheme wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. So we suffered having to watch this team. And now a lot of changes have to come. Something has to change. Even if they do an entire restructure of the front office, the coaching staff, the team itself, the roster, Mike Tomlin's the least likely to go still. So the trade rumors are legit. There are rumors out there, but Tomlin's shutting them down. And then for Arthur Smith, he has interviewed for a head coaching position. So either way, a lot of news between those two guys, between Tomlin and Smith. We're going to see how it plays out. We'll keep updating you here on Steelers Digest. But for now, just wanted to talk about how Arthur Smith somehow getting head coaching opportunities and how people are sold on the idea that Mike Tomlin could be traded to a team desperately needing a head coach. But again, we'll keep you updated here on Steelers Digest. We got nothing better to talk about on the offseason than speculation and rumors, so we will continue to give that content to you guys on a daily basis on this channel. So hit the sub button if you haven't already, and we will keep you in the loop, Steelers Nation. We will continue to love this team all the way through this very difficult offseason after a very disappointing end to the season. And hopefully we got something to celebrate soon. I mean, free agency is going to be huge this year. A lot of great players out there. We'll have some videos about that, about the draft, and some players I would really like to see. And yeah, we'll continue to keep pushing out videos and talking about your Pittsburgh Steelers as the offseason progresses. But for now, let's enjoy playoff football, even though our team's not in it. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Steelers Digest.